I'm a 90's kid. Are you? You're a 90's kid if you can finish this. Ice, ice. You remember watching Doug, Ren and Stimpy, Pinky and the Brain, Bobby's World, Felix the Cat, The Tick, Real Monsters. If you ever ended a sentence with the word psych, 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 you just can't resist finishing this. In West Philadelphia, born and raised. You remember TGIF, Step by Step, Family Matters, Dinosaurs, and Boy Meets World. Side note, Korean Topanga, all day. You remember when it was actually worth getting up early on Saturday mornings to watch cartoons. You got super excited when it was Oregon Trail Day in computer class at school. You remember reading Goosebumps. You took plastic cartoon lunchboxes to school. You still get the urge to say not at the end of almost every sentence. Not. You remember seeing the hot tub bubbles make bubbly sounds before every music video on VH1. You remember when everything was settled by rock, paper, scissors, or bubblegum in the dish, eeny, meeny, miny, moe, and even better, Daddy had a donkey, inky, binky, bonky. You used to listen to the radio all day just to record your favorite song of all time. Where in the World is Cameron San Diego was both a game and a TV game show. Captain Planet, he's a hero. You know Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, and Tommy, the Green Ranger, were meant to be together. You remember when Super Nintendos and Sega Genesis became popular. You always wanted to send in the tape to America's Funniest Home Videos, but never taped anything funny. You remember Home Alone 1, 2, and 3 and tried to pull the pranks on Intruders. You remember watching The Magic School Bus, Wishbone, and Reading Rainbow on PBS. You remember when yo-yos were cool. You remember those Where's Waldo books. You remember eating Warheads. You remember watching the first Batman, Aladdin, Ninja Turtles, and Three Ninjas movie. You remember Ring Pops. You remember drinking Surge and Tang. If you remember when everything was the bomb, when they made the new Lunchables so you could make pizzas and tacos. You remember boom boxes versus CD players, making those little paper cootie catcher things and then predicting your life with them. You played and or collected Pogs. You had at least one Tamagotchi, Gigapet, or Nano and brought it everywhere. Furbies! Saved by the Bell was the coolest new show. You haven't always had a computer and it was cool to have the internet. And Windows 95 was the best. You watched the original cartoons of Rugrats, Power Rangers, and Ninja Turtles. Michael Jordan was a king. Yikes pencils and erasers were the stuff. All your school supplies were Lisa Frank brand. Remember when the new Beanie Babies and Talkin' Elmo were always sold out. You collected those Beanie Babies. Mortal Kombat was awesome, the game and the movie. Care Bears! Gecko was the coolest stuff invented. Lamb Chop song never ended. The old dollar bills. Silver dollars, which were cool to have. You remember a time before the WB. You collected those troll dolls. You had to do weekly readers in class. If you even know what an original Walkman is. You remember wanting to sit on the orange Nickelodeon couch. You've gotten creeped out by Are You Afraid of the Dark? You know the Macarena by heart. Talk to the hand. Enough said. You always said, then why don't you marry it? You remember trying to collect all 150 original Pokemon cards, but never could. And if you did, you were all that. You remember Highlights, the magazine. You went to McDonald's to play in the play place. You remember playing on merry-go-rounds at the playground. Before the MySpace frenzy. Before the internet and text messaging. Before sidekicks and iPods. Before Mike Jones. Before PlayStation 2 or Xbox. Before SpongeBob. Back when you put off the 5 hours of homework you had every night. When light-up sneakers were, cool. You rented VHS tapes, not DVDs. When gas was 95 cents and call ID was the new thing. When we recorded stuff on VCRs. When we called the radio station to request songs to hear off our Walkmans. When Game Boy was a brick. You did MASH to figure out your future. When you weren't cool unless you had a starter jacket. Way back. Before we realized all this would eventually disappear, who would have thought? We miss the 90s so much. Post this in your profile if you remember these days, or if you smiled at one of these things.